Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Wendy Behar. She is a licensed therapist, an addiction coach, an international speaker, and the author of Your Rules, Your Life. Welcome, Wendy. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Nice to be here.
Yes, excellent. I'm so excited to have you here and to jump into to share about your story and your journey and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. So, with that being said, let us jump right in. So, you yourself have been sober since 1998. If we stripped away every title that you hold, therapist, coach, speaker, author, all the things, who is the woman underneath all of that?
I would say the most important part of who I am is a woman in recovery.
Okay.
Being sober is
Mm-hmm.
really all about how I transformed and who I really am to the core, is somebody that just lives a life of recovery and constantly working on myself. 8 years. I just keep on going.
And you were saying before we started recording that your anniversary is coming up in January
Yes, it's
of
January.
2026.
Yeah, January 1st. I can't believe it's 28 years. I feel like I'm 28.
You don't look a day over 28. So, what was the catalyst moment or experience in your life when you realized that something has to shift? Something's got to give, something's got to change here for me and my life. And what were the first steps that you took on that road to recovery?
Okay, so I reached my bottom in 1998 when my children, who were 7 and 9, saw me for the first time black out, and I was crying. We were at an affair for my husband's business partner. And of course, my husband said to me, "Don't you dare drink." That's all you need to tell an alcoholic. Something.
Right.
So I probably got so wasted. I remember bits of pieces, but I know when I came home that night, my parents were there, my children were crying, my husband was crying. He never cried, macho guy, but he cried. And that was my moment where I decided that I really needed help. And for some reason, I opened up the yellow pages for
Hmm.
those that don't know what that is.
The yellow pages. Oh, yes.
Right? It's Google. And I don't
Yes.
know why. I never even heard of AA. And I looked up meetings, and my mother actually was with me. She was very supportive throughout my life. And she went with me to my first AA meeting.
Wow.
And that was,
Power. So, how long after that happened, after that event you were at, to the time you went to your first meeting? What was the time gap in there?
that was my first meeting. That night,
Yeah, but what
yeah,
that, oh, really?
Saturday night, I was
Yeah.
wasted. It
Yeah.
was actually interesting. It was on my father's birthday. It was October 24th.
Mm-hmm.
And the following day, it's October really, October 25th, I went to my first AA meeting. And then I celebrate January 1st because I took a Valium on New Year's Eve. And my sponsor said, "No, you have to start your day count over," which is really important for people to understand that switching addictions,
Mm-hmm.
you could switch from alcohol to drugs, and you have to start all over. So that's
Right.
an important point. Like, oh,
Wow. So you wasted no fucking time though. You jumped like next day. That's it. That was a huge awakening for you.
yes.
And so was drinking something that you did? Did you start when you were young?
When I was, I guess, 13, 14 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I would drink with my friends. On the
Right.
weekends, we would have fun. My father, interesting, was a liquor salesman.
You just can't make this shit up.
No, no. And he worked in Manhattan, all the
Mm-hmm.
top clubs in the city.
Yeah.
And he would actually get me and my friends into clubs. I was
Wow.
like 14, 15. And my friends and I would just drink and party and experiment with different drugs. And it was just
Mm-hmm.
fun. It was on the weekend
Yeah.
and it was fun. And I saw my parents at night have a glass of wine to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I saw.
And so when did you first start to notice for yourself that it was getting a little out of control?
It was really interesting because when I think about it, I was probably the only one of my friends that would have blackouts.
Wow.
and get sick at 15, 16, 17, but I kept on going. And then when I was 35 is when I decided to get help. But prior to that, I would make myself promises. Oh, I'm not going to drink tonight. Oh, I'll only drink wine. Oh, I'll only have beer. And during the day, you would never know. I had
Hmm.
a beautiful life and nobody really knew what was going on. I would go with my children to all their activities and show up and do homework and play with them and have a great time. And at 5, 6 o'clock,
Hmm.
then I would start pouring my wine. And as motherhood got a little more challenging, as my children got older, the more I would drink. It's a progressive disease. It's
And
what,
so was wine your liquor of choice? Is that what you usually drank?
well, at the end was vodka and value,
Uh,
BV.
wow.
Yes, when I felt anxious or I
Hmm.
was uncomfortable, it was a social lubricant. It was
Right.
fun until it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, what part of your healing journey scared you the most, and how did you walk toward it instead of running away from it?
It was very scary because I started seeing things clearly. Time throughout my life, I would be a people pleaser and do what you wanted me to do. And I was a chameleon. And I would never say no, but I would stuff all my anger. And I saw certain things in my relationship with my husband that were not good. So I had a new pair of glasses, and all the things I saw were really scary to me because I had to make a change.
Yeah.
I couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to do something about it, which I started healing and growing and changing and starting to learn who I was. And people around me didn't like it. They
Of
wanted to
course
stop
not.
me.
Yeah, while you were no longer, or you were stepping into not being so much of a people pleaser, and you were changing. And change is such a difficult thing for us humans to go through and to accept and to step into and to deal with. So I can only imagine the shit that you went through to get to where you are now. And as you said, it's still a journey. Every day is still working on your healing process.
Yes, it never ends. It never ends. And I'm thankful that I still want to grow, always wanting to be better and not quit. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I see people, 20 years of sobriety, they actually end up relapsing because they're not consistent with what they did at the beginning. And that's why I always teach my clients, whatever you're doing, consistency, really important. And
Yeah.
some of my clients don't even go to meetings. I'm their only person, which I really don't think is a great idea. You really need
Right.
community and
Yeah.
have people. So that was very challenging because I started making a whole new bunch of friends. We'd all go to meetings. I would tell my husband, I'll meet you at the soccer game. I have to go to my meeting first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would do that and just really take care of myself and say no to a lot of situations that weren't good for me. My friendships changed.
I was going to say, I'm sure your friendships shifted quite a bit, and I'm sure your friends would get upset because you were no longer the girl. Oh, Wendy, let's go out for some drinks. Let's go to the bar. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. No, that's not me anymore. I have to do this for me. Do
Yes.
you still go to AA meetings?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Still go to AA. I go to ACA. I go to Al Anon. Do you know there must be 100 12-step meetings around the world?
Holy shit.
Yeah, to help people cope. There are 12 steps on how to live life. It's a
Yeah.
spiritual, emotional, mental, physical program designed for living. And I always felt that the 12 steps should be in your crib when you're born. I really,
Okay.
because you're working on yourself in school, how to communicate, how to identify with your feelings, how to take care of yourself, healthy coping skills.
Yeah. Those are all life skills.
Yes, they are. They're life skills. And
Yeah.
that's why there are so many 12-step meetings around the world that don't even have to do with alcohol. It's for family members, Emotions Anonymous, even.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was the first lie then that you had to stop telling yourself in order to become finally?
So the first lie that I realized is that I can be loved without saying yes and self to others because my whole life Conditions, conditional love. Oh, if you say yes, I'll love you. If you say no, you take care of yourself and prioritize yourself, Wendy, I'm not talking to you. That was my
Right. Wow.
guilt trips. I don't want to go there.
Man.
Yeah, so that was the line. No, you know what? I can say no. I can
Yeah.
take care of myself. And if you don't like it, it's okay. But that took many years.
Yeah, of
A
course.
long time.
I'm sure you experienced that from your friends too, basically, because you weren't going out and partying with them anymore. Oh, fuck. What the hell's wrong with Wendy?
But they didn't want to be with me.
You weren't that party girl.
That wasn't it had the reason why is because they had to pick themselves.
Yeah,
Because like does attract like.
that's right. Absolutely, 100%. That's a powerful lesson and journey to go through. Worrying about if I say no, now that you've stepped into this new person, if I say no to going out with these people, or if I say no to this person or that person and put boundaries up, I mean, getting to that point where you realize that, fuck it, I don't care if you're not going to love me because I'm looking after myself, I'm putting me first, then I don't need you in my life. That must have been a huge step and hard to digest and step into. And I can't even imagine.
Yes, and it's interesting because in the beginning with my mother or my grandmother, I'm an only child. And if I would say no, I would have to make up a story. Oh, I can't come over today because I'm working. Because I work in the field of addiction for
Yeah.
over 20 years facilitating groups. And I would say, oh, I'm working late tonight, or I can't come over because I'm working. And maybe I was just getting a massage, but they wouldn't understand that. So I
Right.
tried to feel safe and protect myself.
How long did that go on for before you finally said to yourself, fuck this, I'm not lying anymore?
They're both in heaven.
Oh, man. What a journey. So, in all your years of recovery, what truth has stayed consistently non negotiable no matter how much you grow?
That I have to keep working on myself, keep going to meetings. I'm in therapy. I can't be a good therapist unless I'm in therapy. So I'm constantly working on myself. Like I said earlier, I have to make sure that my emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual pieces are together. And some days they're off. They're not. I do know that I try my best every morning to have a routine, a morning routine. Whether it's meditating, journaling, reading, exercise, like normally in the morning I do yoga. I didn't do it until 11:30. Usually I'll do it at 9 in the morning. I got distracted with business,
Yeah.
which is not good. And I promised myself I'm not going to. And then sometimes I get drawn in, which is workaholism. That's another addiction that's very dangerous for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially having an addictive personality. Absolutely. Anything can turn into an addiction, work,
Yes.
whatever it is. What did sobriety force you to feel for the very first time that you'd avoided your entire life?
Anger, because I would always smile and I didn't realize how angry I was and I would stuff it and then I would drink and tell you what I thought about you. So all my feelings came out.
How did it feel to face that for the first time? And did it feel like a huge relief I mean, you had to release years of anger.
Yes, a lifetime. And I'm still angry. And I could say anger is really a good thing because it tells you your needs are not getting met.
Right.
If you put a D in front of anger, what does it spell? Danger.
Dan-
Danger. You're not feeling safe. You're angry. What are you angry about? For me, I was angry because I would always say yes when I
Right.
no. And people weren't supportive of me when I started saying no. And to validate my feelings, I started seeing that I had a lot of feelings that I would numb with alcohol and that I wasn't really happy, even though
Yeah.
on the outside, there were things going on in my marriage that were not good. And I put up with emotionally abusive and verbally abusive behavior. And it was very difficult. And the
Yeah.
healthier I got, the sicker he became.
And so how is your marriage now?
I got a divorce within 7 years of my sobriety. And He lives in Florida, Steve, and he and I are friends. He calls me his best friend, and he apologizes all the time. And the only reason we're friends is because I'm working a program and I'm working
Right.
on myself. We hang out with my second husband and my husband, Mark. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, Mark and Steve talk on the phone. The other day, they're on the phone. And I'm like, Mark, who are you talking to? Oh, Steve. For an hour, they're talking about the stock market or whatever they talk about.
Mm.
And it's so interesting. And it's so important because I have two children. They're, I was going to say 20s. No, they can't be 20. They are in their 30s. How could they? And it's great for them to see that we all get along because when we were together, we did not get along. And that's not good for children at all.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that is wild. Where in your journey did you learn that saving yourself might disappoint others, but abandoning yourself destroys you?
Throughout. It's not like at a definitive point in time. Throughout my recovery, seeing situations and saying, you know what, this is not good for me. I'm not happy. And I hate to use this expression, but sometimes you have to step over the bodies
Yeah.
to save yourself. There's a chapter in my book is I love you, love me more, right? Because I love people. I'm loyal. I'm a great friend. However, if I lose myself in you, then I'm going to be miserable. And I do become physically ill. I have an autoimmune disease that if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to suffer
Yeah.
if I ignore myself.
Yeah. Have any of your friends that you cut off because, or that they cut you off, have any of them come back to you and said, you know what, Wendy, I'm really sorry I was an asshole. I would like to rekindle our friendship. Has any of that shit happened?
No, because they didn't, like, it wasn't said. It just like dwindled. There was nothing that really happened. We used to just go out as couples for dinner.
Yeah.
I stopped going out for dinner. Our children got older, so we would have separated anyway.
Right.
And it's interesting because one or two of them came to a book signing of mine that I haven't seen in a while, and they're all supportive. And they say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job." But never would we talk about alcoholism or my recovery. It's like the elephant in the living room. No one really
Yeah.
talked about it. It was like, "Oh, we're not friends with you anymore, Wendy," or "I'm mad at you." Because really, I didn't hang out that often with them. I was raising my children. So I
Yeah.
my children during the day with activities. They were with their children. We would meet on the soccer field. And the only time was going out for dinner is when we would have wine. So it didn't X me out really.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just curious about that. What was the hardest truth you've had to accept about the role you played in your own suffering? And how did facing that free you?
That's a good question. The hardest truth that I had to face, that I can't fix others, and I'm not responsible for other people's happiness. I was raised to really make sure that everything was okay in my home. Everybody was happy. And I had to face the truth like, no, Wendy, you're not responsible for others. And that's hard because I really have to let go and then I have to focus on myself
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
look at my part.
I think that's a very common occurrence with women in the home and in life because women have been conditioned for so long to believe that's your role. You have to make sure everyone's okay. You're the mother, you're the matriarch. You have to do all of these things. And they don't. They lose themselves
Yes.
and forget that, no, I have to pour into me first before anybody else. And this is still a thing that so many women suffer through and suffer with because of the conditioning, because of what they've been taught to believe that, nope, this is how things are. And more women need to reflect on that and shift the lens that they look at that through. Think of the difference that would make in women's lives. I mean, look at what it's done for you, right?
Yes. To stop generational patterns
Yeah.
in the society because you just repeat what you were taught and what you see, and you don't even question it and say, wait a minute, is this really working for me? And that's why I love to tap into my clients to meditate, look within. What do you really want? What works? What doesn't? And most of them are so angry and it's
Yeah.
suppressed.
Stuff down, as you said, what you did with
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
What is the most surprising truth that sobriety has taught you that no book, no program, no training ever could?
That I can take care of myself, that I can take care of myself. I need to trust myself, that I am enough. It's a lot of different things that I've all learned from my sobriety on really how to let go, that I am powerless over things, that God has a plan and it's good, and just trust and suit up and show up, right? And pause and be mindful. There's so many things that I have learned about myself in recovery that I don't even know where I would be today. I would be scary where I would be.
Yeah. Beautiful lessons, though, for sure. Definitely. A lot of people could learn all of those. Everybody could take from those lessons because so many people don't love themselves. And we are the foundation for everything. Everything starts here within us, and we have everything we need inside of us. It's just getting to that point where you believe it and embody it.
Because you have those voices. That your mom, is that your dad saying that to you? Who's saying that? Your boyfriend? Who's saying these things to you that you're really taking on and owning? No, that's not the truth.
It's not yours to carry.
No, and it's their perception. Let's just say what their perception is, but it takes such a long time to build that self-esteem because you don't even know who you are. So how could you build self-esteem if you don't know who you are?
Yeah, very true. Good point. In your opinion, what part of addiction recovery do people overlook that actually holds the key to long-term freedom?
Emotional sobriety. Because people think, I'm going to stop drinking physically. I'm fine. And they don't do any inner work on themselves. So they go around like a dry drunk, which means you're not physically drinking, but you have
Yeah.
all the isms, all the behaviors, and you don't have any tools to live. And that is so key when you decide, you know what, I'm going to stop drinking, learn tools how to do that. There are lots of different ways to support people, not to physically pick up. But the most important thing also is community, connecting, asking for help, and looking at your feelings and what is going on for you and how are you going to cope, because you have a broken coper. What's the coping skill? To drink. So now what do I replace it with? And there's a lot of different things to replace it with in order
Yeah.
to be happier, because people sometimes will be in recovery but not really in recovery, if you know what I'm saying. They'll go to meetings, but they don't connect with anyone. They don't call a
Right.
sponsor. They don't have a sponsor. They don't take service commitments. They don't reach out to other people. They don't work the steps. There's so much that goes into it, and they don't do all that, and they suffer. And they end up, a lot of people stop going to the rooms, and they end up relapsing.
As I'm listening to you talk about all of this stuff since we started, Wendy, I can't help but think, and it just keeps coming to me that these are all like all of these things you're talking about being in recovery, the things you have to do and the self-love and all, these are all life skills that we all need to utilize. It's fucking crazy. But people, oh, that's just for people who are going through the steps or going through the program, or these are basic life skills that we all need and can utilize
Yes.
to make our lives better, whether you drink or not.
Yes, that's why there are like 100 different programs, because it's not about drinking. And actually, the first step says we're powerless over alcohol. All the others don't even mention alcohol. The other 11 steps, it's about meditation. It's looking at your character defects, looking at your feelings. There's so much that goes in letting go to God and trusting. And it's so much more than that, like you said. And that's why people don't know how to cope. That's why they drink to numb when they're feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah. Wild. What is the most common emotional loophole you see that most people use to avoid doing the work?
The emotional loophole that they use is they just keep running. They keep running and they're busy. They don't do the work that needs to be done, and they do suffer, and they ignore their feelings. They just ignore them, push them down. Like we said, we could switch addictions.
Yeah.
easily, or they blame other people. Oh, it's because of them. It's their fault. It's their fault. Instead of looking at yourself. And I always say, one finger's pointed out, three back
Mm-hmm.
at me. What's my part in this?
Yeah.
To really look at yourself and not be in denial. Denial is don't even notice I am lying.
Wow.
So denial's a big one. They
Because
don't want to look. And it's really hard. It's hard work. It's the hardest
people
job.
don't want to look because they don't like what they're going to see. They don't like looking within because they don't like themselves. They don't love themselves.
Yes, I know. And the thing is, though, if you don't look within, how are you going to change? Oscar Wilde said, an unexamined life is not a life worth living. I truly believe that. And I don't think once you see who you really are, you will feel horrible about yourself. You might say, you know what, I have really wonderful qualities. There's only one problem, it's alcohol. The
Mm-hmm.
rest, there's 8 pieces to a pie. There's just one piece is addiction.
Yeah.
There's 7 other parts to that pie. And I try to bring that out with the people I work with to show
Love
them there
it.
are wonderful parts to them. That's just
Mm-hmm.
one part. And you had no choice, really, because you had no way
Yeah.
to cope. And that's what you saw growing up, because it's a disease, it's genetic.
Right. Mm.
Down the line, there is addiction.
Yeah. In your experience, where does true healing actually begin? Like before the tools, before the programs, before the boundaries, where does that all actually begin?
The true healing begins when you reach your bottom.
Rock bottom, the bottom of the bottle, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, the true healing begins when you've had enough, when you're in enough pain to ask for help. Because I always will say a breakdown is a breakthrough. You break down, you say, you know what? The healing will happen now because I cannot take it anymore. You reach a point where there's something horrific that'll bring you there. Not everybody has to reach a horrible bottom.
Yeah. But that asking for help, that's another one that we've all been, but again, I think women especially, that asking for help, you're taught not to. Nope, you can do it all yourself. You asking for help is a sign of weakness. All of these things. It's
Mhm.
so that would, I think, be one of the most difficult parts in anything, not even just with addiction, but just asking for the help because we can't do it alone. It's impossible.
No, we can't do anything alone. And to be
No.
vulnerable. And it is scary for some people, especially with addiction. Plus, they have big trust issues. When you're growing up in a home that is alcohol in nature or dysfunctional, there could be abuse, physical, emotional, verbal abuse, or anything else, the trauma, trust your primary caregivers. If you don't trust your parents, how are you going to trust other people?
Yeah.
So that's big. It's a big piece and it's very difficult. And that's why I do have a lot of clients that don't want to go to AA. I also do a smart recovery group, which is a different type of group that does the evidence-based program.
Right.
And some people don't want to go to that because they don't trust other people. And I hope that I'm the bridge,
Yeah.
bring trust, and then they can go out. And I try to get them to go to meetings and reach out to other people because I can't be the only person.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. What is the quietest but most dangerous form of self abandonment you see in high functioning women that you work with?
Repeat the question.
What is the quietest but most dangerous form of self abandonment you see in high functioning women?
The quietest,
But most dangerous.
not listening to yourself, not tapping into yourself is really dangerous. And right away, just saying yes to things because you want people to like you and you don't really check in with intuition. It's very dangerous to just, again, automatic pilot, just doing the next thing.
Okay. What's the question you ask someone when you need to cut straight through their bullshit and right into the truth? Let's just get down to it. Quit fucking around.
Okay. So normally what I would say to the person when they're coming and asking for help, I would say to them, okay, so why did you come to see me in the first place? What's not working? Right? There's a reason you reached out to me. So what is not working. And if you could do and say and be anything you want to without being judged, what would you say, do, or be? And that's something they need to think about because they've been pretending for so long.
Hiding.
Yes, hiding, just going through the motions of life and not finding joy and happiness, which everybody could use happiness skills, how to be happy, how to set boundaries, putting yourself first. You don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict. I help a lot of family members as well who lose themselves in the addict. That's an addiction,
Right.
codependency.
Do you get a lot of that too? Would you say you get more of helping the families deal with an addict within the family or more of the addicts? Or is it quite an even mix of both?
It's actually a mix. It's
Okay.
half.
And what in your experience, what have you found that is the more difficult of the two to help or to deal with?
I'm thinking of certain clients that I've had, and I find the family members, it depends. If it's a family member that has a child, an adult child, it's very hard for them to let go because they feel, oh, that's my job. I have to be
Yeah.
on top of them. But these are adults already, young
Yeah.
adults, and they don't know how to detach. And it's easier when it's a spouse
Right.
that's an addict to let go. And it is difficult when people are newly sober for them to really start, like I said, to trust,
Yeah.
try to go to meetings, ask for help in a community. So I would say probably the alcoholic or the addict, it's a little more challenging if they're not willing to take the suggestions.
We are our own worst enemies.
Yes.
What pattern then, speaking of families, what patterns do you see in families that silently fuel addiction across generations?
So what happens is like denial. They ignore a lot of things. They enable. For example, if their child, young adult, oversleeps, doesn't get to work, the mother will call the boss. Oh, Johnny's sick today. He was throwing up. He can't come in.
Wow.
That's number one. Number two, a lot of times they will be like a helicopter mom. They'll be on top of whether it's their spouse or their child. Did you go to a meeting? Are you drinking? And be on top of them constantly, questioning, instead of just letting go. I try to have my clients go to Al Anon, it's a 12-step program for families. And we work together on focusing on yourself. Start getting some hobbies. Ignore what happens with your loved one. Because what happens is if you detach, I've seen more cases than not, that person will get help. If you're constantly on top of them, nagging them, it's going to backfire.
Yeah. Yeah. As you said earlier in the interview, someone's telling you not to drink, you're going to go drink, of course.
Yes.
If you have someone constantly yapping and nagging you, so fuck off, just shut up. And then you end up doing that.
Exactly. So they need to focus on themselves.
But then I guess people, I would imagine, especially with parents, people would see that they would see that as, well, if I detach, that means I don't love my kid. I'm not supporting them. I'm not being a good parent. All of these things would come up in their minds.
Yes. And it's really the opposite. So it's really hard to train them. For example, I had somebody that said, oh, if my son just gets a job, he'll be okay. I'm like, okay, he's using and he can't function. But if he gets a job, he'll be okay. Because the society thinks if you're working,
Yeah.
you don't have a problem. You're not an addict. And that is not true. Maybe you're functioning, but not to your full potential. And this young man cannot get a job. He cannot function. He's not in therapy. He's not going to program. He's using. So yeah, let him smoke pot and drink, but get a job. It's like they don't understand. The denial again. Oh, that's not the answer.
Because that's admitting that their child is struggling. And of course, as a parent, they're going to naturally blame themselves.
Exactly. You know what? And the thing is, we all do the best we can with the tools we have.
Yeah.
I did the best I could, what was passed on to me. Luckily, my grandchildren, I am changing that trajectory by doing the work, getting help, and teaching them different tools that I wish I taught my children, but I didn't know them. So how, you can't blame yourself.
I'm curious, do your kids drink?
Yes,
They do. And how do you feel about that? I'm curious.
I would prefer if they didn't because I really want my children to be present. And I see that alcohol numbs you out and you're not connected with your feelings. I feel disconnected. At one point, one of my children used to go to meetings with me. He was in
Right.
meetings and he and I were the closest ever because we spoke the same language.
Yeah.
Such a gift. I loved it. But he decided not to stay doing that. And that's okay for him. I don't know what he's doing now because I try not to look at the magnifying glass. But it's
Yeah.
interesting, people around me say, like my first husband say, oh, I stopped drinking. When I see him and we go out in Florida, he's drinking. I'm like, okay.
I guess you have a different meaning for not drinking than I do.
I didn't even ask him. But I guess it makes everybody feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because when they're around me, so like some people don't want to be around me. I don't want to be around them either. Or as certain friends that my husband has, who I will not say they're alcoholics, but I don't like to label anyone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not enjoyable to be with someone that's inebriated and slurring.
Yeah, for sure. For
Have
sure.
a drink or two. My husband drinks. I'll have a glass of wine or two. That's fine. Handle it. But when I see that shift,
Yeah.
change of behavior, that's when I just can't be around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's understandable. I mean, who wants to be around someone that's stumbling around? I drink alcohol and I don't want to be around someone who's stumbling around, slurring, can't form a sentence. I don't want to be around that either because it's not enjoyable. What part of healing do people romanticize that is actually messy, raw, and brutally honest?
Okay. I guess when you start healing, there are people in your life, like I said, you have to move them from the orchestra to the balcony. And that's,
I love that.
but it's true. It's so painful. It's so painful. People that you love, that could be family members, you just have to move it. And healing brings up stuff and you have to work on it. No matter how much time you have, there's always deeper layers to go to feel free. It's not fun. It's a lot of work and it's painful, but you're worth it because you'll get through the other side. Because if you don't deal with it, your feelings will deal with you, and the mind and body are connected. So if you're not processing your feelings in a healthy way, then it's going to get you. I believe cancer and many ailments like my autoimmune, if I'm not paying attention to my body, setting boundaries and taking care of myself, my autoimmune disease kicks up. The universe is telling me, Wendy, pay attention. So healing
Yeah,
is hard.
the stuff down emotions create dis-ease in the body.
Yes,
That's everything.
exactly. Yeah, it's painful. It's hard work.
And people don't want to do hard work. People want the quick fix, the magic bullet, the easy route.
Right. Instant gratification.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. How do you teach someone to trust themselves after years, even decades of betrayal, self-abandonment, numbing?
So what we'll do is, like I said earlier, we really try to get into the messages that they were told about themselves. And then we try to question that. Is that really true? And then I try to have them look at all the positives again in their life that they do see within themselves. We'll have them really look and say, okay, let's make a list of things that you have done and things that you're proud of, that you do trust yourself with. And there's other things maybe, okay, I made a mistake, but were you sober when you chose that person or you chose that decision or that choice? And I try to teach them to pause. And I love journaling because I'll always have my clients do some journaling, tap into their feelings, because most of them don't even know what they're feeling.
Yeah. What is the one question you wish every woman asked herself at the beginning of her healing journey?
Am I happy? Really simple. In the beginning of my journey, am I happy? What's working? What isn't? What can I change? And it's usually changing yourself. You can't change anybody else. So what can I do during this self-discovery journey to take care of myself? really important to look at.
For sure. When someone says, I don't even know who I am, what's the first breadcrumb you help them follow back to themselves?
So when they really would say to me, Wendy, I don't know who I am, I will ask them, what were you told? What were you told you were growing up? What have you heard? And also have them look at people in their life, because I will say like attracts like, that they admire and emulate. And I'll say, oh, do you have some of those character traits that this person has? Would you say that this is who you are? To really look at it, because sometimes you're just blocked and you don't know who you are. Like, who do you want to be? What did you always want to be? Who are you today? Like, because people do know who they are. I truly believe. Who am I? Okay, I'm a people pleaser. I know I say yes when I shouldn't. They're aware of certain things that aren't working for them and do work for them. And what would you like to be, really? Who do you
Did,
want to
do
be?
you, I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that shame around some of that stuff plays a huge part. Like admitting to themselves, I'm a fucking people pleaser. I've done this for how long? And not wanting to admit it.
Yes, and shame is big also, obviously, with addiction.
Yeah.
But I will always say, when you don't know better, what were your choices? You can't blame yourself. I say, take the stick, hit yourself with a feather. Okay, now I'm aware of it. So, what are the tools and strategies I can do to change? I can pause before I say yes. Somebody asks me to do something. Before I used to say yes right away. Let me get back to you. Let me check my calendar and really sit with it, meditate, intuitively feel in your body. Like you can feel your body, how you feel at it instead of just an automatic yes
Yeah.
response.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the book. When did you write the book? Tell us again the title of the book. What inspired you to write the book? Tell us all the things.
Okay. So, of course, I guess it's backwards.
No, it's showing up properly.
Yes,
Yep.
showing up
Yep.
properly.
Yep.
Okay, so it's Your Rules, Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, during the pandemic, when I was stuck home, and actually my grandmother passed away because she would flip out if I did share a little bit about me and my life. It's a teaching memoir on how to set boundaries, how to take care of yourself. I have little stories from my clients who said it was okay to use
Mm-hmm.
their names,
Mm-hmm.
where they were in the beginning, and what happened and how they changed. So it's a really simple book, How to Stop People Pleasing. You can get it on Amazon. I also have a self-care journal and wellness
Okay.
as a gift.
Okay.
It's on my website that you can
All right.
download. And that can help you get started to really look at, who am I? What do I want? What's working? What isn't? How do I take care of myself? And that's the first step. It could start you on
Yeah.
the road to self-discovery and healing.
Beautiful. Okay. We'll put the links to your book and your website, all of that stuff in the show notes when we release your episode. Absolutely. So, what does living by your rules, your life actually look like to you personally? And especially when shit gets hard and fear starts talking louder than intuition.
My rules, my life is, as we say, no,
Yeah.
right? Really to look at my life and say, okay, what's working, what's not? I'm willing to do this. I'm not willing to do that. And to pause and really think about it. When somebody asks me to do something, or if I'm hiring new people in my business, nothing's etched in stone either. You can try
Right.
something, it doesn't work, you shift it by my rules. Like I don't have to do what everyone else expects me to do. And one little example is my husband and I have been married, I guess, 7 years. We're together for 18 years. I am half the time with him in my apartment, and he's out east. So we're not together all the time. That's one rule. Oh, who's to say you're married? You have to be together 7 days a week,
Yeah. True.
24/7. No, I'm here in my apartment working for 4 days. He's out east. Then we see
Yeah.
each other on the weekend, Friday through Monday.
Whatever works for you.
But some people are like, oh, really? Wow. I can't believe that. And then the people that are really honest, You're so lucky I do that.
I wish I could convince my spouse to do that.
So it's so interesting. So that's one rule.
Hmm.
And the rule is I don't have to like everyone my husband likes. He
Hmm.
doesn't have to like everyone that I'm friends with. We could have separate lives and be together. Doesn't have
Yeah.
to be codependent and
Right.
glued together like my parents were.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the standard. That's the way everyone did things. And it's still prevalent today, of course. But again, it all comes down to what we've been conditioned to believe is the right thing to do, is the correct thing. Who's to say it's right for you, though?
Exactly. And we appreciate each other so much more. When I'm Wednesday through Thursday or Friday, we don't see each other, and we see each other on the weekend.
Do you guys talk
Yeah,
when
oh,
you're
yeah,
away?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice a day,
Yeah.
talk, we'll connect.
Yeah.
But we don't have to be glued together. Each other, we trust each other.
And it works for both of
Beautiful
you.
relationship. It really is. It's a gift.
Yeah. Love it.
It works for us.
If the women listening remembered only one thing from this entire conversation today, what do you want that one thing to be?
Ask for help. The most important thing, please ask for help of anyone.
Yeah.
Ask for help. You don't have to sit with your feelings alone. There are so many people that can help you out there.
Yeah.
It's a community of many people.
Thank you for that. Wendy, what does freedom mean to you on the deepest level, beyond recognition, beyond money, beyond status, all of those things?
Doing what you want to do.
Living on your terms.
Living your life by your rules. That is the freedom to do what you want to do, what lights you up. I just started guitar lessons.
Amazing.
When I was 12 years old, I used to play the guitar, and I said, you know what? And I played the piano, and I want to have more joy. So, you know what? Got a guitar. I'm teaching myself guitar. I'm
Good for you.
fun. My husband and I was singing the other day. I learned 2 chords, and we were singing "The Horse with No Name."
Beautiful.
And I said to some of my friends, are hysterical, but it's fun. Like, I just want to have fun in life, enjoy, be free, be open to trying new things.
I love it.
Life's about
That's so inspiring. I love it. How do you define success?
happiness.
Plain and simple.
Very simple.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
To rise up of what you think that maybe your limits are and go beyond. Empowerment is raising yourself up, doing things that maybe you thought, no, I can't do. Do it anyway, despite fear.
Love it. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing, okay? What is your favorite place on earth?
Beach.
What is one of your secret or hidden talents?
Singing.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
I don't know why it keeps coming up, asking for help. Hey, today's an asking for help day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What is one of your guilty pleasures?
Shop.
One word that sums up your mindset.
Positive.
One book that changed your life.
The 4 agreements.
What is one word that defines the woman you are becoming?
Independent.
And that concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. How do you define love, both the kind you give and the kind you receive?
Is taking yourself into consideration and tapping into what really lights you up and what is healthy and good for you. And then if you can do that, you can give it back out. But if you're not being kind to yourself and kind to your mind, pay attention to what you say to yourself too. How do you talk to yourself? Make a mistake. How do you speak to yourself? It's okay, Wendy. You're learning. It's fine. Let it go. Or, oh, why did I do that? And that's not love. Unconditional love, the way you would treat your children, the purest love I feel is for my granddaughter. That unconditional love to have for myself and be gentle and kind and to everyone else. And stop the stories in your mind. Many times my clients will have a story about somebody, their spouse did something. This is why they did that. No, that's not actually. How do you know? That's the story. Not being so angry all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Communicate, ask, connect.
Beautiful. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your nationality, your religion, where you grew up, all these superficial day-to-day markers that we use in everyday life, how would you describe yourself to me?
Kind.
Okay. If you could step into my shoes, what is the one question you would ask yourself that I didn't ask you?
What would you like to do going forward with your life?
Okay.
Is
Go
there
ahead.
something else that you want to do, Wendy?
Mm,
And I would say I would like to be on a television show,
okay.
some sort of
Excellent.
Netflix show about recovery and addiction
Hmm.
is something that I've been manifesting about.
There we go. We are putting it out to the universe right now, and it shall be. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1 hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
I love Louise Hay House. She was in her 60s when she
Hmm.
actually started publishing Heal Your Life. And I saw her in person with my sponsor actually 26 years ago in Manhattan. And she signed my book. And I think she is an amazing woman. Like, doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah.
And that she changed and she created Hay House and all the wonderful spiritual people that are part of that. Just amazes me,
Hmm.
how she did that. And I listen to her even now. I listen on YouTube,
Yeah.
recordings on positive affirmations. She started all that with positive affirmations and way before the law of attraction, Abraham Hicks. So I
Yeah.
really admire her.
Yeah. Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Trust yourself.
Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
To take care of yourself no matter what and keep working on yourself. Most important thing is you.
Beautiful. Wendy, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to sit down and share in your story and your journey. And of course, the incredibly beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do, the people you're helping. It has been such a joy. I've enjoyed every moment of our conversation. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your vulnerability. And I'm grateful to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much, Wendy.
And thank you. It was great. I loved speaking with you and see you. So thank you very much.
My pleasure and my honor. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Wendy Behar. She is a licensed therapist, an addiction coach, international speaker, and author of Your Rules, Your Life. Thank you so much, Wendy. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Thanks.